don't fall for it.
Yeah, man. So tell us about your time out there in Iraq. Any crazy stuff that happened?
Um, the craziest thing that happened was when I kicked off a prison-wide riot, and I right, and I say that because it probably was me that kicked it off. It was definitely 50% me. But what? So the detainees had been, they rioted at this time. They were rioting like once a month, and this was right before the new year. And it was 2006 going on 2007, and all week long after Christmas, from Christmas on, they were just being hostile. You know, dressing up every day, putting masks on with other, parts of their clothing, and pretending that, acting like they were gonna riot. And it was keeping us there extra hours, like on our shifts, which was already 12-hour shifts, but you got to do a 1-hour turnover.
Right.
So it was making us lose that on our sleep.
1 hour turnover? God damn.
Yeah. And then on top of not being home, and crazy stuff going back home, and that you have no control of because you're over here. Well, I remember it was about 2 days before New Year's. I think it was December 29th, 2006. And they had been acting like they were going to riot all day. One of the guards had got spit on, and it was when that happens, the victim has to write that inmate detainee up, and then whatever the punishment is, say they get taken, the punishment is they go to isolation for 24 hours or whatever. It can't be the victim that moves that.
That detainee can't move that detainee.
Yeah. Well, I had one spit at me, and I didn't write him up, but it didn't land at me. He just kind of spit towards me, and there's 5 feet of razor wire and a big barbed wire fence that's separating us. So it probably didn't even touch the metal. But I believe, but what happened was that was the same one that spit on another detainee or another officer, a guard.
Right.
So when it came time to move that detainee, I was going to move him with 2 other guards. Now the whole compound comes up, the whole quad of people, which there's like 300 to 400 detainees in each quad. We were in Delta Quad of this particular compound, and all the detainees are masking up and coming up towards the fence, saying they're not going to let this guy go, and they're going to do something. And well, they had this stuff called chai tea that they were getting brought with their meals that they drank, and really strong tea, and they would pour it in the sand, and they would make real hard rocks out of it. It'd dry up and it'd come like bricks. And they were also given soccer balls, which were purposely being kicked into the fences, into the razor wire to pop the soccer ball, and they were finessing the rubber out of the soccer balls, making slingshots.
God damn.
And they had knocked out. Yes, they had knocked out a guard's teeth with this slingshot.
God damn.
Now all these detainees are coming up towards the fence, and what do I see? I have a shotgun in my hand that shoots crowd rounds. I have crowd round ammunition in it, which is rubber BBs, and they spread. Just like a regular shell, but they're rubber.
Right.
instead of metal. Well, that particular detainee raised that slingshot, and he was raising it towards my face, and I loved my teeth a lot better than I loved him, so I shot him.
Oh.
and he was too close for me to be shooting with that. But
Mm-hmm.
I did it out of instinct because, I only got one set of teeth. They only got
Right,
one
right,
face.
right.
It's not the prettiest as it is. I don't need to be any uglier. So I shot him, and when that happened, all you heard was, the saying that they say. I think it's Allah something, Akbar or
Ali
something like that.
Akbar, Ali Akbar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They started chanting that, then the next compound over start chanting, and the next compound. So the next thing you know, 19 compounds that have 4 quads, and each compound went up to 400 prisoners in each quad. So up to 1,600 in each compound all began rioting.
Wow.
All began rioting so much to where we ran out of ammo. Now, we ran out of ammo in our compound, and I heard over the radio or over our radios that an army truck pulled in front of our compound with more ammo. So I go out
Mm-hmm.
to the army truck. I lost my job this night, by the way. I should have said that. I got fired. I was no longer a guard after this night. They said, "Won't you pick up trash at the base or do something? Go empty trash cans or something." They were going to get a message from them. But I went out to the army, to the ammo truck, and I'm grabbing all this ammo, right? He said, you can only take so many. So I look over to my right, and on the wall, there's a box of stinger grenades, which we were never given. We were never given those. We were
Right.
told about them. We got to use them in training, but we weren't given them there. So I start grabbing several and I'm putting them on the clips on my bulletproof vest.
Stinger
and I go back
grenades.
in. Yeah, stinger grenades. So not only stinger grenades, OC grenades. So I grabbed a couple stinger grenades and I grabbed a couple OC grenades. The stinger grenades blow up and 1,000 rubber BBs shoot everywhere. It's meant to disperse a crowd. And obviously the OC, the gas, is definitely made to do the same thing. Well,
Right.
I go up in a tower because there's a tower to each compound that's all fenced in, and the prisoners are all out in the middle and had set. They live in these things called caravans that look like garages.
Mm-hmm.
There's 8 of them in each quad, with 30 to 40 or 50 in each one. So I'm noticing in this particular compound or quad, one of them starts going ablaze. Then the next one, then the next one, then the next one, and they're all ablaze. And it was a bad move. It was a dick move on my part. But all these prisoners were in the middle in a circle, and I threw them grenades right in the middle of them. So they had nowhere to go but trample all over themselves. They started shooting tear gas everywhere, and OC, and it blew up, and freaking rubber BBs are flying everywhere. And next thing you hear on the radio, who in the F is launching grenades in the middle of the quad? Yeah.
Me?
Yeah. I had fun. I ain't gonna lie, it was fun. I should have probably went to jail over that.
Hey, that's what they get for sending the
When
Navy
did you
dude
ever
to
get away with
combat.
something like that? Yeah. These days, for sure, I'd be canceled in prison. It'd be bad.
Cancel. Shit, they crucify you in public.
Cancel the Macho Dad.
War crimes.
Right. Yeah. But like they had been doing stuff all the time, throwing stuff at us, throwing feces. After so long of dealing with stuff like that, the human brain only puts up with so much.
Yeah.
The people in charge were real political, so for months they were saying, well, just, don't write them up. Just let them get away with what they're doing. And, getting feces thrown at you. It's kind of
freaking
a
suck.
game changer.
Yeah, that'll piss somebody off real quick.
Oh,
Sailor, what?
Oh, God. And could you imagine, you knowing me, could you really see me getting mad at something like that?
I know you can let that go.
Good answer. You have wisdom between your ears. I already knew that, though. Good answer.
No, man. So after, okay, they rioting. They in enclosed. They in an enclosure. Burning stuff, and so they can't go anywhere. You just got to calm them down. That's all. That's all the purpose is, right? Even if you run out of rounds,
but
they can't.
They're trying.
They can't get out.
It's the cause of distraction. It's the cause of distraction to cause bigger elites to escape. Because
right.
what we found in one of the compounds was the very last compound of the prison to the far east of the prison of the camp, underneath one of the caravans. So they had found a tunnel, and the tunnel was probably about 3 feet wide. It went down and it got bigger, and it went out to about a quarter mile past the razor wire. So they were actually past the wire, but if they would have came up right there, they'd have been toast. But, luckily it got caught before they made it further. But them guys was in there. The majority of them probably wasn't going to go back to their families because they had already been convicted of what they were doing. They were waiting to see what was going to happen, whether they were going to be put to death or whatever. And being since it went back to the Iraqi government, I don't know, because they were all in a civil war over there. Them guys might all get toast.
So thing damn. So they dug off. Damn, man, them dudes ingenious, making slingshots out of soccer balls. Goddamn,
all they got to do is.
Of course, y'all ain't doing no damn compound inspections, right? So them boys can dig all day.
all the time. But that was missed, and that had to have been missed for a long time.
Yeah, I ain't
for
going
the
in
size,
there. They all
good.
Good.
Yeah. At least once a week they're doing sweeps. Yeah. But see, these, all these people have to do is think 24 hours a day. What can I do to outsmart these guards? Because the guards ain't thinking 24 hours a day. What can I do to keep these guys in? That's part of what they're thinking about, but they're also thinking about their families and bills, whatnot back home.
Yeah.
It's crazy over there.
So the aftermath, I'm pretty sure they had a debrief. You got debrief. Did you? You got debrief. How'd that debrief go?
I almost got in a fight with a captain, an Army captain. So he was the one that was in charge of our compound.
Right.
His name, I'm sorry, he was a lieutenant, but lieutenant in the Army is the same thing. Or maybe he was a captain. Yeah, he had 2 bars. That's captain, right?
They call arm. I think they call them captains. Something like that.
A lieutenant has 2 bars, right? 2 silver bars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, it was a captain. He was a captain, Captain Forrest, and he was real political, and he was a hugger. That's what we called him, because he would always come out when he would talk to the leader in the compound. He'd always put his hand over his chest, like, it's so nice to talk to you. And we'd be sitting there with total disgust, because of the way that we were treated by these people, and what they would do, and we'd try to write them up, and then they'd write a request to talk to him, and he'd come down there and override us all the time, give him extra soccer balls, and we just got sick of it. And one thing led to another, and that's what led to my actions at night whenever I fired that shotgun. But after it was all over, yeah, me and my boss, his name was Mark White. He was a first class at the time. I think he might be a senior chief now. Might even be retired. We got brought into the control for, would be like CCS, control for Compound 19. And he's like, John, he's like, I want to know something, Reid. Why did this kick off? Why did you shoot him? I said, because I value my life and my face and my, safety more than theirs. I said, I'm not going to be an example like that last guard that got his teeth knocked out. And he said, well, where was your effing shield? And we were only taught to bring shields during certain, scenarios. So the scenario that was just going on, where we move a detainee, you don't use a shield on.
Right.
You only use a shield when you're going in for a sweep or riot. Well, that we were bringing a prisoner out, and they refused. And so there was no, that you're supposed to follow these guidelines. Well, he's skipping many and asking me why I didn't skip them.
Yeah.
And I gave him a smart ass answer. Because I, for one, actually read the rules of what you're supposed to do. And he started walking towards me with his hands.
Oh.
And yes, with his hands. I'm going to tell you what, Sergeant Reid, because we go by Sergeant over there. Even though you're a petty officer, you go by Sergeant.
What they call you, Sergeant?
And the way he came at me, approached me, I grew up a certain way, and you don't do that to people, and even on the ship, when somebody reprimanded somebody, they didn't bark, like come at them like they were going to attack them. And he came at me like he was going to attack me. And when he did, I jumped up and threw my hands up, and I said, I'm going to knock your bitch ass out.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I thought for sure I was going to the brick. And he tried to fight me. We both tried to fight each other. It was separated. I was like, I don't know who you think I am. And he was a big guy. He wasn't a small guy. He was a big guy. He was put together. It would have been a fight, but I just wasn't prepared to let somebody talk to me that way.
Yeah.
It's still ain't.
So
but
after
I don't
that,
go looking for fights.
I mean, did you get transferred out of there?
Well, no. Okay, so I was still a part of the same unit. Okay, so later that night, so I was walked outside, and so many people come up to me like, dude, you're the coolest mother. you're the baddest dude here. I'm so glad I got to work with you. I'm like, nobody's got more kahunas than you do. And next thing you know, here comes the captain, and he says, man, Reid, I just want to shake your hand because I've never met anybody with the heart that you got. He said, you're not going to get punished. You're not going to get punished, but we're going to give you a break. we think it'd be best that you just hung out at the base for a while. Yeah. So all they had me doing was
he really respected you because probably them dudes out there probably banned to him so much he ain't never seen nothing like that before.
Yeah, I guarantee it. That's how it's been for months.
Yeah, he little Navy dude. Navy dude come up there like this mother is crazy.
No, not at all. And he might even be able to whip me. A regular guy my size would look at this guy and like, oh, there ain't no way I'm messing with him. Because he was. Do you remember Senior Chief Leak? Yeah. The MS. He was a cook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was not as tall as him, but on the same kind of build.
Mm-hmm.
Probably about 5'11", but Senior Chief Leak was a big guy. He was a big guy.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh
And he was
yeah.
put together. He was put together well, like him. Maybe not as thick, but he was put together.
Mm-hmm. So
At the time, I was too.
you'd have been in the mix. You'd have been in,
Oh yeah,
it'd have been a rough day for you. That
yeah.
it'd have been a rough day.
Well, yeah. But I've been used to it.
That's cool though. That's cool. He came out there. It's like, hey, go chill out the base. So what'd you do at the base? Just chill out, I guess.
But they had to go to the post office and a few other places and drink and change out the garbage bags. It took me 15, 20 minutes every day. And then I'd be at the gym for 2 hours, go to the internet place for 2 hours, get on the phone. It's just like a little vacation.